Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to episode number 14 of Playing with House Money on the Toilets to Titles Network. It's Thursday. This is our new home, ready for Thursday night football. Find us here every Thursday through the football season. I am Iceman. Find me on Twitter at Iceman_1013. And this over here is my boy DJ Prue at PrueBaby10. How are you doing today, bro?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Tough week.
I see you.
Tough week. You know, I figured I brought the right cup today. You know, I brought the right cup today. It might be a natty this year, to be honest with you, with what I saw. But we'll get into that a little later. I won't go too crazy yet. But last weekend that was a good highlight, obviously for me. And then MLB was brutal last weekend. It was just weird, I guess I would say. Like, we had so many games that were just like complete blowouts. I mean, we saw a couple teams actually hitting 15 runs last week.
Yeah.
So it was weird because
it was a couple of which that you did talk about as well. Like, there's a couple of games that you mentioned last week that did have those runs. I don't think it happened to be the people scoring those runs, and they weren't necessarily homers from the people that we thought they would be. So, like, your analysis was pretty on point in terms of which games the runs were going to be in.
Yeah, we expected the teams to hang runs only because of the matchups. It was just the guys you would have expected to do it didn't do it, which happens. I mean, hey, there's 9 guys on that lineup, and sometimes you get the right guys hot and the wrong guys not. So it was okay. I mean, I like that we saw a lot of runs. I like that we see teams are still really competitive right now. It was just brutal for the guys that you would have thought. And then I know at least 2 of the days that we were out there, we were getting singled to death. Mm-hmm. We're getting singled to death on the total base plays. So we were spot on where we were going. We took the right approach, and I'm not mad at it. So it's a new week, and there's a lot of good baseball to be played still, and we have a couple good matchups as well. So I'll jump right into that with my boys. Los Angeles Dodgers play the Nationals in Washington, and I mean, Mookie Betts is likely going to win the NL MVP if he keeps up this pace. I don't know how he would keep up this pace, but he's just playing out of his mind. And then a couple people on their team are really catching on at the right time. Like, James Outman's been really good. Kike Hernandez has been really good. And Jason Hayward has been reborn in Los Angeles. Like, J-Hay is absolutely going nuts lately. So I don't know what they're doing over in LA. Their training staff, those vitamins that they're getting, they just must be really good. They must have those old Flintstone vitamins that we used to have as kids. They don't make those no more, you know what I'm saying? So something. But J-Hay is just going off. So if Freddie and Smith can stay consistent, I know it's kind of been one or the other lately, and Mookie can keep up his MVP pace. I just love that matchup. And then obviously, you get Washington with a couple guys that decide to just go off. So a lot of value in that. And then, the other guys, my other boys have a great matchup this weekend. You got the Texas Rangers against the Oakland A's. And that's what you call a reset series right there. You call that a bounce back series right there for sure. Basically, everybody on the Rangers besides Corey Seager could use a nice matchup. Yeah. He's officially qualified for the batting title now, too. Now that he's had enough at bats, and dude, he's just playing unreal. I don't think he's played enough games to really put himself in that conversation for MVP, but honestly, I mean, you could probably argue it. So Lowe, the other big 3 of their 1 through 4, Lowe, Garcia, and Simeon, they could use a matchup against Oakland's lefties. Pitching staff, obviously, we've been attacking them all year. So I really like the value in that one. And then Braves Pirates. Like the big 3 of the MLB this weekend just have great pitching staffs to really get going. I know Atlanta's been you can't really say Atlanta hasn't been going, but Olsen's been pretty cold for his standard at least. But Marcell Ozuna and Ronald Acuna are just Ronald Acuna's on a different planet. Like, he is different, and I'll let the people know. You know, a couple months ago you were a little frustrated with Ronald Acuna when he had his his downs, and it's one of those things where you got to trust the process and you got to trust these players that are just they're special talents and they know what they're doing out there at all times, no matter who they're pitching, who they're batting against. And when he catches fire, man, he's unstoppable. So really looking to see him and Austin Riley, how Austin Riley continues this week. He's been really, really good. It's just he's a lot more hot and cold at the plate. So waiting to see how that is. But yeah, Marcell Ozuna and Ronald Acuna are probably guys that I'm just going to hammer that whole series. So
Acuna Mazuna. That's what we're going to be playing all weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Then we got one series that should just be a good one to watch. You got Seattle and Tampa Bay. So that one's hard to say, what you want to bet on, I guess would be the responsible thing for me to say. Obviously I'm me, so I'll probably waste some of my money on it, but Julio Rodriguez, JP Crawford's been red hot lately. Actually, he's hitting a lot of homers too. And he's usually like plus 800 for homers basically every game. So I like keeping him, especially in the hit run RBIs. And then I kind of go back and forth between Suarez and Teoscar Hernandez because you never really know. It seems to always be one or the other that are going to go yard, but I really like some of the matchups they'll see minus Glass now. And then Tampa Bay is kind of picking up lately. I can't really tell what they're trying to do over there in Tampa Bay, but Yandy Diaz is probably one of the most consistent guys in the MLB, and then your boy Randy Arizona. He's been really good lately. Which he's another guy where when he gets on, he's lights out. So
what I'm going to start to do, I'm just going to start telling people when I take him and when I don't, because when I take him, he does nothing. When I leave him, he scores a home run.
Yep.
So I'm just going to start letting you know the days that I'm going to play him, and everyone can just do the opposite.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Because, whenever you take him, it's 2 strikeouts, 2 walks.
Yep.
So it's ice. So we'll take that. But yeah, that's a series I'll probably I might keep it, light. I'll do probably a lotto or something like that just in case we see a crazy one. And then the last one that I'm kind of paying attention to is Baltimore and Boston because it's just a weird one. Like those two teams, if they're on, they're on, and if they're not, they're not. So like, I wouldn't doubt you see one of those games like 3-1. It'll probably be Saturday actually. If they play tomorrow, I didn't check the time for tomorrow's game for Boston Baltimore. They might actually have a later slot, but I wouldn't doubt that's 3-1, like 6 hits total or something like that, and then you'll get 8 to 11 Sunday night or something. So those are two teams that they have the pitching staffs that sometimes they get rocked, and then they also have the lineups that, man, sometimes they're getting you freaking 8 runs in 5 innings and you don't even know what happened. So good series this weekend. I'm definitely excited for some MLB bets.
Sounds good, bro. Looking forward to it. And if you want to find any more of our content, we've got to find Prue's actual bets for this weekend in the Discord. You can jump in there. If you listen closely, if you pay attention on the Twitter, there's a promo code floating around, so you don't even have to pay to get in and see these bets that he's going to play. What more do you need? It's free for a month to see what we do on the baseball side of things. You skipped the bit about like we had a bad week with some winners. I threw us a winner in there, a few winners on Monday, on Labor Day. Yeah. I threw a few MLB winners in there on the K side. I know you hate betting Ks, and I haven't loved it recently, but there was a couple in there. I don't just stick to my soccer stuff. Like I've not.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find all of the stuff in there on the Discord. Obviously, going across all sports. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave us some comments. You can find all of the content about college football and the NFL, which we're going to get into in a second, on toiletstotitles.com. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, drop us a 5-star review. We would much appreciate that, please. And again, if you want to interact with the team, anything football related, let us know. Jump into the Toilets to Titles Gilded chat. Hundreds of people in there now. We've completed Redraft. tonight's the first game of the season. So, there'll be start-sit questions in there, trade questions for Dynasty, all of that kind of stuff. Get in the Gilded chat, and, you've got access to a huge host of people, not just Prue and myself. But that is one benefit of being in there as well. You get us,
me,
but everybody else. Well, yeah, you. Yeah. And then, Playing with House Money present the SGC.
Man.
Another phenomenal weekend. And that the new episode of that will go out tomorrow afternoon, so don't miss that. But we're here. Let's talk about your boy. I know you've been dying. Like, we're 10 minutes through. Go on.
Football's back.
Yeah,
just great last weekend of football. Florida State just looked. If Florida State was 8 in that game and LSU was 5, then we're supposed to be right behind Georgia at 2 at that point. I'll give Georgia 1. What I'm saying? I'll put respect where it is. It's been a long time. It's been a decade since, what I'm saying, we was in the conversation, but we back. Like, my boy Jordan Travis, couple very, very questionable decisions. And then after that, lights out. Almost pitched a shutout second half. LSU they didn't want to be there, man. Those Bayou boys didn't want to be there. And I don't blame them. That was basically a home game in Orlando, and I do love when they do that. For some reason, Florida State always plays at the Orlando games as if it's not going to be a home game for them. But they look really good. I think one thing I will say is if you guys listened to me last week when I was saying about like college football schemes on defense, you saw Florida State get beat on a couple man coverage plays because they're in bump and run. But the fact that they have the ability to do that, to like play bump and run coverage, gives you a lot more versatility. You have your whole defensive playbook if you can play man and zone, and you can blitz up front. And
sorry,
are we good? We good? No technical difficulties. That's me. We have the whole playbook in that instance. So you can play cover 1, you can play cover 0. You can change what you have in the box. You can change looks. It really helps that team. I didn't think that they would have that sort of depth, especially not, or really, I guess, ability and conditioning. I guess week 1, especially against a top 5 team. But they look really good. I think they even surprised me a bit just with how good and how consistent everybody else looked outside of those, costly mistakes. So, we might as well just go ahead and line Georgia up now. The Natty, I'm cool with that. I think everybody would agree. But then also another crazy debut we had was Deion Sanders' coaching career in the in a Power 5 school, and his son at quarterback. And then, dude, Travis Hunter is not real. He's not human. I don't agree with the snap count. I don't agree with the high snap count simply because it's not a good business decision. And right now his main concern should be longevity, but the kid is just a walking highlight reel. I don't think I've ever seen anybody play that fluid both ways, like in a full competitive college game like that ever, and I don't think I ever will. Hats off to that kid, man. He is different. But yeah, Shador Sanders is now in line to make $3.5 million in NIL now. After that debut, it actually went up $2.5 million on Tuesday. So it's what a debut. I think Deion kind of got the world on notice, but I also think a lot of people are jumping the gun, and they're giving him a little bit. I know some people are saying he's going to win 9 games now, and I think they're more good about 7. They did give up a ton of points, so we'll see. But great week 1 of college football, and I can't say enough about my Noles, but there's not many this week that are like even worth talking about. I'll be honest with you. Everybody's playing their D2 school, like their D1 AA school, and like Grambling, stuff like that. So it's not worth putting money on. But they're the main game everybody's talking about is Alabama and Texas. Texas is supposed to be a very deep team this year. Like everybody's saying that their roster doesn't have many holes. But at the same time, I kind of always go back to Alabama just being Alabama. And I know how that whole roster is 5-star recruits, top to bottom. And it doesn't really matter who goes in and out of that revolving door out there. They're going to be ballers. And Saban is just he's very smart defensively in college, especially, and I say college on purpose because you don't have to throw the kitchen sink at some of these college quarterbacks to throw them off. And sometimes some of these guys watch tape of the last year and like they think that's what Saban wants them to do, or like good coaches want them to do, and stuff like that. So it's just, I'm leaning towards, Alabama likely does cover this spread at 7. Unless, I'm kind of second guessing it because of the Clemson game last week.
Mm-hmm.
Or early Monday. But I feel like I can't just picture Texas putting themselves back on the map with a upset against somebody like Bama. Like Florida State against LSU, like this is Bama we're talking about here. So I just don't see Saban letting Quinn Evers beat him this early in the season, and I think they have more depth than probably anybody in the country besides Georgia. Just because of the recruiting classes and how deep some of their red shirts go and stuff like that. So what I'm personally going to take, like my safe straight bet that I want to take is Bama -3.5. It will probably update tomorrow morning or Saturday morning, so I won't lock in like the odds yet, but that's probably what I'm going to do as like my safety. But I might actually do an SGP for that game. And I know I said that last week. I don't typically do that, but there's no value. Like, I don't see it going over 55 unless Texas pulls this upset, or like it's just a crazy game. I just don't see Alabama giving up 24 points or something like that to Texas unless they're going to win. So Bama -3.5. I think it's gonna be more than a field goal. It's college football, so that's my safe bet for that. And then I'm not betting anything else college football because we're back, baby. NFL's back.
Yeah, the NFL. The National Football League returns this evening.
It does. How do you feel?
I am not as hyped as I think everyone else is, but I think that's simply because I've been pretty hyped the last few weeks on the soccer side. Like I've not had to wait for like my football to be back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I am super hyped for like some of these like for Sunday bets, like what we can put out and what we can do this year. Like,
oh yeah,
I always got like, like I think most people now know the story. Like I have a team. Everyone knows I'm a Chiefs fan, and everyone just assumes it's because they won the Super Bowl a couple of years. Like
I'll vouch for you. I'll vouch for you. The way that you became a Chiefs fan does make sense to me.
Yeah, so I am, but I'm more of a fan. I'm more of a fan of like the players and my fantasy teams and the teams that, and certainly this year. And the problem with something like the Frankenstein tournament is that my team's going to change throughout the season. So it's not the guys I drafted that I'm going to be rooting for because I'll probably lose some. I'll gain so. I just want to do well in my fantasy tournaments, but I also just want to win some money, man. Like, and I want to win the people some money. So, Travis Kelce is the big talking point for tonight. Yeah. Like he kind of got injured in practice on Tuesday. So which is not great.
Like, not horrible.
No, but not horrible. And I think obviously like he's probably gonna have had MRIs. At the time of recording, we don't know what is happening with that.
Right.
But that will be a big thing. I know that you kind of still want to take the Chiefs money line.
Oh yeah.
I'm not so sure. If he doesn't play, I'm very tempted to take the Lions.
I'm more so concerned about Chris Jones than I am Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
For the Chiefs, at least. Like for the win.
Yeah.
I think Travis Kelce is just more of like a bonus.
Yeah.
You have a Ferrari throwing the ball. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna find a way. And the other guy is Jared Goff. I'm I'm not a believer. I'm not. I'm keep it real with you. Like the guy, he's a college quarterback. And when I say that is, there's quarterbacks that are good at seeing the field, and there's quarterbacks that are good at throwing in the gaps, in the windows of the field. So like your pre-play snap, and you know your routes, like what gaps they're going to in the windows. You know, once you see certain guys in that defense move, you have certain keys that you're looking for. You know what window you're throwing to. Those windows ain't always open, and then Jared Goff looks horrible. And then the pressure is going to be the main thing, because without Chris Jones, can you stop the run and get a pass rush? That's the risky part. If you can't stop the run and put it in Goff's hands, I mean, it's just, you might be right. I think it will be. I don't see Pat losing week 1. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, we mess around and see Sky Moore score like 4 touchdowns or something crazy, and everybody's like, he thought he needed Kelsey. He needed Tyreek Hill. He thought he needed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's just funny because the people don't know you drafted Travis Kelce 7th overall earlier in the week, and you probably were like, I can't believe these idiots gave me Travis Kelce at 7, and then sure as shit, look at that, man. You know, it's that thought in your head that manifested, though. So I do love that. I love knowing that. I do think the Chiefs still win, though. The money line's minus 245 right now. I think it'll adjust a little bit once, like final decisions are made and game time decisions are made and whatnot. But I'm so excited for this week. I think Frankenstein's going to be crazy. I think fantasy's going to be crazy, and I'm not too worried about making fantasy money because I know I'm going to make money on the books. Hopefully, everybody's riding with us, and I mainly want to win fantasy so I can win your money.
Oh yeah, I'm just bragging rights at this point.
Yeah, it ain't really like the money in general. I just want yours. So
yeah. All right, I understood.
What you looking for on Sunday?
Sunday, 4 favorite line. Well, I say 4 favorite lines. The 4 I've picked: Vikings at the against the Bucks, -6. I mean, I don't actually mind the Bucks for fantasy purposes this year. People obviously going on about like Baker and Kyle Trask and who's going to replace Brady. I think there's a way too much emphasis put on the fact that it is Brady that left. And people are acting like Baker Mayfield's not been in the National Football League for several years and won playoff games. And he didn't do what he did, in college. Like, the kid can play football. Like, he's like, sometimes.
He can swing it sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, and I think they just tumble in drafts because they've got Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Yeah. But I'm taking that value on them, so I think they'll still be relevant for fantasy purposes this year. But in Minnesota, this Vikings team, -6, I think they win this game by 10+. So yeah, taking them to cover. Washington against Arizona, kind of similar thing with Arizona without Kyler. Like, what on earth is going to happen at quarterback this season for them? Everyone's talking about their tanking already. Season's not even started, and so I do like this Washington team. Excited to see what Sam Howell.
Let me say to the people, anybody thinking that is crazy. Get that out of your heads now. Nobody, Arizona is not going to tank, because if they do, they paying Kyler $200 million.
Yeah.
To not play, and at that point, you ain't bringing him back. You ain't bringing Kyler back at week 6, or it would be. And then it's like, okay, we are taking. We're going to give this guy almost $250 million. It just wouldn't make. You would have to try to trade him. You're going to bring him back, play him, and try to trade him. Nobody's taking that contract if he doesn't ball out. I just don't see that being realistic. I just don't think their front office has done enough to make a difference when he comes back. So I mean, they might not have no option. But yeah, for the people just automatically thinking Arizona's tanking, please be smart.
No, so I like the Washington money line. I think they've got, even if McLaurin doesn't play, Jahan Dotson, they've got a decent running back pairing. Like, I like Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson Jr. like out of the backfield. Like, taken them on the money line minus 330. The underdog I'm taking is the Tennessee Titans. I have a soft spot for Tennessee, but I just think they're in New Orleans. But I kind of think people massively, certainly in the fantasy space, right? People hugely underestimate Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback, just in general. Like the Titans and Mike Vrabel, I love as a coach as well. Like I just love the tenacity that he brings to his entire offense, and with Derrick Henry at running back, like he's gonna ground defenses down. And I kind of sneaky like these Titans this weekend, plus 140 on the money line against the Saints team without Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas is back. Is he back? We said that last season.
Right, new QB.
I mean, week one, like that for my underdog play, and then the Eagles at the Patriots, minus 3.5. I saw today when the lines came out, like Jalen Hurts plus 110 for a touchdown is just insane.
Yeah.
But those four, I think we talked on the episode a couple of weeks ago. I like the Eagles to go all the way again, to the Super Bowl.
That's like one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah, but I mean they've got the defense to do it. They've got the attacking, the offensive players to do it. So I mean, again, I think if they were going anywhere else, they'd probably have a bigger spread. But it's Bill Belichick. It's New Orleans. It's New England. I think that.
That's a good one. The fact that I saw it was at minus 198 for Philly to win.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Disrespectful. Bill Belichick's like 500 since Tom left.
Yeah. So I think people still on that, right? Like the Pats defense is good. I mean, I know they've got the rookie that you like, but I still don't think that they've got anywhere near enough to stop these Eagles.
Yeah, that rookie that I was talking about has to face A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So it's like I don't see how those lines were like that, but I love that one for sure, especially just the value itself. I don't think Philly Super Bowl only because I know how hard it is, but they definitely do it. But I like that, and I do like Tennessee because physicality wins all time. Like that's literally what you're looking for. And Vrabel, that defense is stout. They never give up a lot of rushing yards, which New Orleans is going to really need to keep them honest. Derek Carr is probably one of those guys you can never really predict what you're going to get out of him. And then with a new team, new receivers, Michael Thomas is back. He's bigger. How's he going to move? Is he going to be able to be in, game mode? So that's going to be a toss-up. I don't hate that minus 140 at all. I actually don't think it's too big of a stretch, truthfully.
Plus 140.
So I like them. Minnesota, though, I'm never really gonna, go all out with the Vikes, but only because I'm biased. So I guess I should say this is probably my fave four. Besides, I guess maybe the Kansas City money line. Now that I've let you get into my head. First and foremost, the Bears. The Bears.
Like we couldn't predict.
The Bears. Come on, man. The money line. I'm taking the money line just because it's like. I'm going down. We're winning or we're going down with the ship. It is what it is. And it's minus 115. This game is very, very even on the books, and quarterbacks win the games, man. Quarterbacks are most important position in sports. I don't think Green Bay's quarterback is ready. I don't think Jordan Love is going to be comfortable, especially in that environment, and he knows it's a big game for his his first real season start and stuff like that. I don't see Fields letting this loss happen for him. Like I know how bad he always brings up the Packers rivalry and stuff like that. So I love that. My second one is Miami plus 3 against the Chargers. Honestly, I think Miami's going to win the game. Personally, I was going to take the money line, and then I kind of hate taking money lines. At least too many of them. I like them plus 3 against the Chargers because the Chargers are choke artists. That's me. I don't mean to be rude to them, but like Staley has a lot to prove this year. He's definitely on the hot seat. So in Miami, I mean, that offense, those receivers give you a game at all times. You're in every game. You can always score on every drive, and I think Tua is going to be, really good as long as he can stay healthy, stay upright. He's very poised. So I really like that +3 at -110. And then I'm going Bengals Browns over 47.5 because why not? Like we get Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon right out of the gate. And, everybody's saying Joey B's going for MVP or whatnot. So I love Deshaun Watson's champs at redemption on the field. With that team. Amari Cooper really caught fire, really caught chemistry last year. You obviously have, arguably best running back in the league. I probably shouldn't say arguably. Chubb's probably, he's RB1 if we're being real. 47.5 is happening. I think at least whoever wins this game is scoring 35. So there you have it. And that's at -110. And then, yeah, like I said, the Kansas City money line for tonight is -245. But it's because Pat Mahomes is at the helm. So, yeah, that's my 4, and I'm sticking with it.
Sounds good, man. And yeah, I mean, that's our 4 on Thursday. Like, hey, what do we say? Jump in the Discord, hit us up on Twitter. I'm sure on Sunday morning there will be some plays for player props, anytime touchdown scorers and whatnot. I know we're definitely looking at those already, but yeah, like we'll finalize some of them over the weekend. So if you want to join the Discord, like I said, it is free this month if you use the promo code NFL Kickoff. Jump in at PW_house money on the Twitter. Link to the Discords in the bio. There's a ton of tweets which have the link to the Discord in it. Hit Prue up for some of his MLB plays, his college football stuff, whatever, at PrueBaby10. If you want to, listen tomorrow, we've got the SGC back. We've got a light weekend on the soccer front, but
you still don't want to miss it. You still do not want to miss it. Everything the SGC is putting out. Everything the SGC is putting out, it has the Midas touch right now. Get there. Do not be late.
Yep. And then, yeah, I mean, we'll be back next Thursday. We'll be playing with more house money, always. Let us know what bets you're taking this weekend, how you're feeling week 1 is going to go in the NFL, and we'll see you next week to dissect it all.
The Bears.